Hello, this is your painter in residence. I'm Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Country Path Afternoon. I painted this painting last week, and I'm here to tell you all about it. So, we're working on some MDF. Now, it was colored burnt sienna, and I didn't feel like working on burnt sienna for the scene I was going after. It had a lot of well, you're going to see it. You maybe saw the preview already. So what I did was I grabbed a tube of raw umber acrylic paint. I use Interactive brand. It's good quality. I only use it for things like this. I tend not to paint with acrylics, but and a paper towel, and I just started papping away on it. You can see a little bit more of that kind of burnt umber tone peeking through. What I'm showing you there is my medium, which is finely dried in a jar. That I use the Archival Oils brand odorless lean, and without fail, the bottom quarter inch always turns into jelly. And there was the liquid fine detail that I was using for those that video project I was working on 6 months ago, and that's also jelly. I barely ever used it, so I didn't realize it turned to jelly. Anyway, we're doing a grid here, and the purpose of the grid. Sorry, I got to remember to keep my headset is not working well, so I'll try and keep my face in a nice proximity to this microphone. Yeah. The grid is just to help me get my bearings. It's not because I want to be Mr. Exact. As a matter of fact, now you could check out the reference image. It's up on screen on my screen in my studio, so it's not like featured exactly, but you can clearly see my reference image. And members, actually, just the members, every once in a while will ask me to send them one of my reference images, and I'm happy to do that. I have no problem with that, because I could make another painting from that reference image and it won't even be the same, so I doubt your take on it would be. And I don't really like to share the reference image too much, because I find people fixate on it, and for me it's not about the reference. Even if I spend a lot of time on the reference and I put a lot of energy into the reference, it's about the painting. It's a part of the process. Anyway, we got an ad for the book coming up soon, and then after that I'm going to spend a little while talking about a good attitude to adopt if you're a beginner painter. So stay tuned for that, because I've noticed this with my students here locally, and I think it's a real phenomenon. I think it's well, I can only speak as a Westerner, a member of the Western culture. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but there is a tendency in this culture that I'm going to talk about on the other side of our ad. Hey, we sent out a couple books this week, and I'm always really thrilled to do it. It's the product of 13 years of concerted effort in learning how to paint in a tonalist manner. Now, I didn't have any books. I had to figure it out. I did have a little bit of help here and there. People like good old Stapleton Kern. He has a great blog you can check out. Just put Stapleton Kern blog. You'll love it. If you're a painter starting out, I highly recommend you do that. He taught me a lot. And he opened my eyes to what tonalism was. He's not a tonalist, though. So he really wasn't that good at painting or teaching to paint in the tonalist way. I had to figure it out on my own, and I've been here sharing what I know about doing it since about 2015, 2014. I'm going to have to get that straight pretty soon, because we're going to have the 10-year anniversary coming up. Okay, so here we are on the other side. Just please watch me put this painting together. And what I want to talk about is okay, so I'm just going to talk about my local students. Okay, so they come in and they're working at painting, and some of them are pretty talented, or maybe they've done things in the past, or they're really creative, and they've done a few good things in other mediums, but without fail, I find that people are very hard on themselves and expect to have great results, just right out of the gate. And this is why I say it's a Western culture thing, because Western culture is all about the end. It's all about the product. It's not about the journey so much. Now, painting is really a cool thing to do. I think it's cooler than doing digital art. And for one reason, it does create a product. It creates an artifact. It is going to, your painting session will produce a painting, a real thing in the real world that is one of a kind. And it may be very valuable to some, or not at all valuable to others, or anywhere in the range, okay? But that is something you really don't have much control over. Either way, well, that last idea does tie into what I'm trying to say, because we a lot of times see people that are not especially great, or not producing work that's especially great, that is getting accolades and selling for big numbers and things like that. Yeah, that doesn't help. But anyway, so what I'm really talking about, though, is this idea that you're starting in on your painting journey, and things aren't going so great. They're not looking that awesome, which is really hard. And this is another phenomenon that I've noticed over the years, because I'm getting kind of old now, and I call it the aesthetic phenomenon. And what that is that people that are have a highly developed sense of aesthetics are the people that find art very attractive, and they also tend to be the kind of people that buy art, and they are also, imagine this, the people that do art. A lot of times, though, we'll get people that just draw. Maybe they did art when they were younger, but they dropped out, they had a family. That's real common. Or they just got busy doing some other job that pays, or whatever. But suffice to say, they still have the sense of aesthetics. If you go to their home, they'll have some nice things. They have nice furniture. They probably dress in a way that these things match and things like that. But a lot of times what happens, they may decide, a lot of times the kids are out of the house, or they're retired and they want to start getting back into art or something, and lo and behold, they start producing work. And these are people with a developed sense of aesthetics that one of the problems that they have is that the work they're producing is offensive. It's amateurish. How difficult is that for you to produce something and then look at it and go, wow, it's just not that good, and then not know why, So this is what you do. I got solutions for you. What you do, first of all, most important thing to do if you want to, if you feel attracted to painting and you want to make paintings and you see the value in it, and it is an incredibly valuable way to spend your time. And like I said, unlike so many activities like playing video games or watching movies or God knows, so many other online activities, you actually produce something in the physical world. So it's got extra built-in value. Okay, so this is what you want to do. You just start painting every day. Don't worry about painting real large, although every now and again I think you should do a bigger one. Maybe you go up to 1620 or something. 5x7 is a good size for you to get a bunch of 5x7 boards or canvases. Do one a day. Now you can find little photos around. You can. Great way to learn is to make copies after paintings of masters. Either way, a lot of this is covered in my book, where if you want to make paintings, I feel like you either need to be into the plein air thing and getting good at finding scenes that are good in nature, which is not easy because it takes a while to know what doesn't work. Okay, that's kind of getting to my point. You're going to produce, if you do as I say, and you produce a 5x7 painting every single day, some of them will be pretty good. A lot of them will just be terrible. And then there'll be a range in between. Now, the more immature you are as a painter, the greater the amount of bad paintings you will produce. However, there is good news, and the good news is that every great painting that you will ever do also includes all the bad paintings you ever did. So think of it like this, how, and this is not that positive, if you're with someone who's had a lot of lovers, right? It's that idea that, and they end up with a venereal disease, or you do, you basically had sex with all of those people. I know that's not very helpful, but it's funny, and we gotta have some humor. Yeah, it's the same thing with the paintings, though, right? So every good painting has all the bad paintings in it, and you learn things, and this is the only way, really. Painting is so multifaceted. I mean, we got enough time to enumerate some of the reasons. You got composition. You've got composition is the killer. That kills most of your work. That's why most of your paintings are bad. The composition isn't good. You're not directing the eye well, and the relationship of your shapes to each other are not appropriate. So that's one. Then you got value, and you maybe got too strong of values in the distance, or you've got other value problems. And value is a big one. Or you got color issues. You don't really know how to mix the colors you see. You don't know which colors go together. You don't know which paints to use. Just as an aside, the solution to that is a limited palette. And I recommend something like cad yellow, alizarin crimson, phthalo blue, white, black. That'll do it. That's a real minimum palette there, okay? Because that'll give you a pretty awesome burnt sienna and not too bad of a yellow ochre. Now, if you're going to expand your limited palette, those are the first two I'd add: burnt sienna, yellow ochre. Anyway, getting back to this idea, so you want to also, and I gave this advice to someone on the channel recently, and I think it's the best advice, and it's good advice for me too, because trust me, I am a motivated person, a quite driven person. I wouldn't be working at the level I am if I wasn't always working and pushing at it. Okay, so, but it's very important when you're starting out to have an attitude of play, of just trying things out. Be like a kid. Like, kids play and they make things, and they don't worry too much about if it's good or not. Okay, and frankly, you shouldn't worry too much if things are good or not when you're starting out. Who cares if it's good? It's not good, okay? It won't be good for a while. So just hunker down and make your bad paintings. A few of them will be good, and keep those. And as far as the bad ones go, just throw them away. I don't recommend working with real expensive canvases or boards starting early on. Yeah. By the way, I think this green on the ground really makes this painting. There's not none in the tree to speak of. That was sort of the approach. And then the reference, there were trees that were mostly devoid of leaves. I tend to do that a lot, where I'll just kind of put leaves on them. I don't really like painting trees without leaves. I do have some techniques and strategies for doing so, and I've shared that on the channel. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hopefully that helps. Just play, man. Just get your paints out and have a good old time, and do that every day and keep doing it. And after a while, you start getting really good because you're doing it all the time, and that's how you learn. You get experience, and that feeds your intuition, and next thing you know, you're unstoppable. Until I come back with another video for your edification and enjoyment, do me a favor, do me a solid, take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Please send me a big fat donation via my channel, landscapepainter.co.nz. Stay out of trouble, and God bless you and your family. Fight the power.